Hey everyone, today I'm going to do an in-depth deck tech on the Stanford Swimmer deck I mentioned in my last video. So if you haven't seen that video yet, go check it out. In today's video, I'm going to show you a number of cards that use the old card template and art. These are the cards I currently use during playtesting and are not what the current iterations of these cards look like. I will also be showing you a number of cards from the Stanford set, which is still far from being completed, but hopefully you will enjoy seeing some new creatures and cards that are still in the design stage. Just be aware that some of these cards may change as the game continues to grow and develop. In this video, rather than looking at each card individually, I'm going to focus on the main idea and strategy of the deck I created, explaining why certain cards were included in the deck. So to start with, let's look at the hero and location. The hero of this deck is Stanford. He is a humble, kind man that cares for beasts. He will fight to protect them and the ones he loves. The location is Lake Winter. This is a secluded lake on the planet Kessler. There is a sense of mystery around the lake. It feels almost magical, quite unlike other lakes. It is so remote that it takes a decent hike to get to it from the nearest village. The lake is home to a number of unique aquatic creatures. The location states that during your turn you may use one action point to add a seaweed card to your hand. Seaweed is a 0 attack, 2 health creature that has the swimmer ability. It costs 0 to play, so it can be placed immediately on the battlefield. Note that the playtest card doesn't have the cost of the card on it. The first card we are going to look at is Fisherman. The whole strategy of this deck revolves around this one card. Fisherman gains +1/+1 for each friendly swimmer on the battlefield. So if there are 4 friendly swimmer creatures on the battlefield, Fisherman would become a 5 attack, 5 health creature. The strategy is quite clear. The aim is to flood the battlefield with as many swimmers as possible in order to make Fisherman strong and burly. We have the ability to do that with our location, as each turn we are able to use an action point to place seaweed on the battlefield. That's the first step of getting this deck to work. But seaweed aren't the only creatures that can swim, and so the deck includes a number of creatures from the core set and Stanford set that have the swimmer ability. Before I show you these creatures, now is probably a good time to remind you what the swimmer ability does. Creatures with swimmer may swim underneath creatures with barrier. So if your opponent is running barrier creatures to try and keep you at bay, you can easily get past them to attack what you would like to, rather than being blocked, as the barrier ability blocks all other creatures, even flying ones. Now that I've made that small detour, let's look at the creatures I included in this deck. We have Puffinbee, Pufferel, Flying Fish, Jelly, Whalefish, and Deep Sea Diver. Most of these creatures are generic statted creatures, but they all have the swimmer ability, which is why they have been included in this deck, as they all support the main strategy. Whalefish is the biggest creature in the deck and so can provide an important presence on the battlefield, especially if your fishermen end up being less effective. Flying Fish has the flying ability, which may help to deal with pesky enemy flyers while also being a swimmer. Deep Sea Diver provides valuable card draw and helps you dig through your deck to find your fishermen. Now that we've had a look at our creatures, what action cards did I include in the deck to help with the main strategy? Well, it's all well and good to have a number of seaweed on the battlefield, but if they can't attack, they will get picked off pretty easily. So I included action cards that would make my seaweed stronger and more likely to remain on the battlefield. Fizzy Drink and Armor Piercing were both included to allow the seaweed to fight back. Fizzy Drink gives a creature +2 attack and +2 health, and Armor Piercing gives a creature +2 attack. To finish this deck tech video, we are going to look at a few more action cards that were included for various other reasons, including a few flavorful additions to the deck. Fishing Rod is an important card that helps you search your deck for cards such as Fisherman. Water Strike can help you remove big enemy creatures with direct damage. Water Spout is the only golden card in the deck and can be used to buff your creatures for that final aggressive push for victory, as it gives all swimmers +1/+1 and deals 1 damage to all non-swimming creatures. A copy of Hoverboard was included to help the deck deal with flying creatures, Plus I like the idea of a whale fish jumping onto their hoverboard. A copy of Sweet Tea was included as the only Restore Health card. The aim was to use this card for a tempo swing rather than healing your hero, restoring health to a damaged fisherman or a whale fish possibly. Recruit was included to help with card draw as the deck still needed a little more of that. This rounds up the cards used in the Stanford Swimmer deck. If you liked this type of video, let me know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.